good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen. Hello! And it is Friday. Yay! Weekend time. And for those that work in the United States, it is also a long weekend because we have a holiday on Monday. So, without further ado, let's see what the Goddess Tarot, which is written and illustrated by Chris Walder, has for us for this weekend, for a long weekend, for something exciting. How about a fun card? Maybe something fun. Okay, well, that's fun-ish, I guess. All right. So we have one of our first masculine entities in the deck, which they are few and far between, let me tell you. In this Goddess Tarot deck, it's all about women power. It's all about girl power. So we do have our King of Swords. So there are still kings in the suits. What's interesting is the kings are actually not, if you look at like the book and the order it has and kind of the standard order of the deck, the king is not the head of the suit. The queen is. So a little tidbit of information about the kings and queens in a standard deck of playing cards while I'm talking about the kings in this one. We typically look at the deck of playing cards and the court cards as being a standard. So you have your jack, your king, your queen, and you have in a tarot deck, you have your page, your knight, your queen, your king. And the order is always the page, the knight, the queen, and the king at the top. But interesting little tidbit of information. The king or the queen being the top card in the suit is actually dependent on who is ruling in England. So if it is a queen ruling in England, the queen is the top card. If it is a king ruling in England, the king is the top card. So there's a little bit of trivia for you to go with our Goddess Tarot. So really the Goddess Tarot is more appropriate for our current times because we have a queen in England, and therefore the queen card is the head of the household, so to speak. So in this case, our king is sort of a head of household anyway. He is the leader of the swords, and again, as you can see, he has a very Egyptian look to him. They are going to be very Egyptian in the way they look. The backgrounds are going to have a very kind of oasis, Nile riverbed sort of look to them because they are going to relate to Isis. And Isis is a goddess of the air. She obviously, a lot of her mythology takes her to being in flight, and she has her wings over us when we pass away, when we go to the other side. So Isis and air are deeply connected. The swords are connected to air, so I think that's why they kept the sword symbology in the suit. And the suit of swords typically has to do with intellect, has to do with taking action, and being very decisive. So the king of this is going to be an authority figure who is very decisive, very intellectual, very certain of his mental choices, but very quick to action as well. So you're going to have somebody who kind of has a militant sort of mentality about things. So these male characters are going to be very quick, decisive, act very pure in their decisions. So they are justice in a way. They are the act of if it's a wartime, they want to be quick to settle a dispute. And that can be on the negative side or on the darker side of things, I guess, in that they are quick to war, they're quick to fight and quick to anger, but they are just as quick to come to peace and they are just as diplomatic about things. So while diplomacy and war kind of go hand in hand, this character is going to bring about that kind of mentality. So kings they typically represent a male entity or a masculine energy. This can be the masculine energy of the reader, of the person who you are reading the cards for. So it could be, hey, you just have a very masculine energy. You have a very force, you're a force of nature in that sense. Not so much in the nurturing, but in the controlling and the authoritative and taking responsibility for things, which on the positive side is always a good leader is one who is decisive and responsible and quick in his action and very sure of the justice of his actions. On the flip side, you can have someone who's domineering and overly authoritative and swings that sword like, just wildly about, just seeing who he can hit with it. So, as always, there's balance in these cards. You can have the warrior kings who are, like we think of Osiris and Set and Ra as being these gods of war and these gods of decisive nature. So look back on those kind of mythologies to resemble the energies of the King of Swords. And he's going to represent more Osiris and that energy of the king who dies and is put back together and all of those kinds of things. And Horus is another entity in there. So, but on the flip side, he is also Set. And please forgive if any of my recollection of Egyptian mythology is a little off. It's not at the top of my wheelhouse. It is part of things that I understand and have recognized in the past, but it's been a really long time since I've studied Egyptian mythology. So if I messed any of that up, yeah, go ahead and leave a comment below and be like, well, no, Set was more like this, and Osiris was more like that, and Ra is this. I'm open to you. Please correct me because it's been a minute since I've studied my Egyptian myths, especially the gods and goddesses of it. I think the last thing I saw was like Gods of Egypt or something, was a weird movie about Egypt and the gods and sci-fi, and it was crazy. But anyway, so the King of Swords also is just an energy, is going to be your choices of making a decision and making them quickly and putting your foot down kind of thing and being just about it as well. Not just being mad at somebody to be mad at somebody, but to have justification for that. It's also about making choices and decisions to further your intellect and further your education. So if you are making choices this weekend to, maybe school is starting for you, online or not, starting Tuesday after the holiday. So get those things organized, get your schedule in order, get your textbooks in order, start maybe reading ahead on some of the things that you'll need to know for your classes, because what this is kind of telling me is Tuesday is coming, and it's coming quickly. So it's not really a fun card for the weekend, but it is a really sturdy sort of way to go into the weekend and a sturdy way to finish out the week. And it's positive. I think it's a very positive card in the sense of you want to focus and you want to get your things together with this long weekend that you've been gifted, a little extra time and a little extra energy to get your ducks in a row. So if your ducks are on the Nile and they are swimming by ever so gracefully, make sure that your king is watching them and keeping them in order. I guess that was a really bad analogy, but that's my analogy for a Friday. And I really hope that you do leave some comments below and check out some of the interesting things that are in the links in the description below. Join us for the weekend, and we probably will not have Tarot Cafe on Monday because it is a holiday, and goodness knows that just kind of throws everything into upheaval. But who knows? I'll give it a try. So if I don't post a card for Monday, I will definitely see you guys on Tuesday. Have a safe, wonderful, and try to stay cool weekend. And I hope you enjoy it, whether you have a long weekend or not. And I will see you on Tuesday for sure. All right. Bye.